G'day everyone, I'm sitting here in what we call the Enforcer, in John's ex-police dog vehicle. We've got to take it back to him. Again, John has been incredibly generous. For the last few months I've had no vehicle, and John's made sure I still had a vehicle to get down south, to help out my family, and just to help out me. John is a really top bloke, which is why I don't mind helping him. So yeah, we're taking his car back today. He rang me earlier this week just to let me know that there's been some activity going on at Boulevard Motors. Now, last week, or a wee while ago now, sorry, you've probably seen on the 31st of October on Halloween, I went there and personally witnessed and recorded these idiots driving out on the bloody footpath. It's just above anything else, it's about safety on the footpath. You're not allowed to drive on the damn footpath, so stop frickin' doing it. Now, because Boulevard Motors had removable poles at the front, which they're not supposed to have because there is no exit way onto Green Lane East, he's supposed to go out onto Great South Road around the back of Armstrong Locksmith. However, because he's had a permanent gate there, that whole property's been landlocked, and any time he's taken a car in and out, he's done it illegally, and he's been doing this for almost 2 frickin' years. The council, as you saw in the last video, sent him a letter, I think it was on the 12th of June 2024, telling him to stop doing it, and he still does it. He doesn't give a shit. But like I say, got a phone call earlier this week to say there's some movement going on. Apparently the illegally placed fence landlocking the property is going away. Now, I'm not sure how much of the fence is gone, which is why I'm going back there now to do a little bit of filming and see how we get on. I've got the old filming vest on. We've got the cameras all set and ready. So I'm ready to rumble. We'll see how we go. Catch you then. Bye. And so you can see what they're doing there. They're taking out a little section of the fence and making it a gate with the barbed wire still going across. Try and get a better look for you. Go around the back and get it. What they're redoing this too. Okay guys, so just so all the information's up there for you. The letter from back in December of 2024 reads as follows. Dear Boulevard Motors, it has been brought to our attention that your business occupying the property at 158 to 162 Green Lane East
may have been driving along the footpath to access Green Lane East via the vehicle crossing at 152 Green Lane East, which is John's. Please note that driving along the footpath is an offence under Section 213 of the Land Transport Road User Rules 2003. Now, if the council wants to do, notification letters like this, they should at least quote the law correctly, because it's the Land Transport Road User Rules 2004, as I show you here. It is not 2003, so the letter means fuck all if they can't even get the legislation they're quoting correct. But, 18 notes that your property does not appear to have a driveway onto Great South Road. It does appear to have a driveway on Great South Road, which they had fenced off for a couple of years at least. And now they've finally put a gate in. If you have any queries or concerns, please contact us on the typical Auckland Council Auckland traffic number, which is 355 3553. It's made real easy for people with poor memories. Anyway, so that was the letter from the 9th of December last year. Then on the 10th of June this year, I think I've already shown you this letter, but I'll read it out to you. Dear Boulevard Motors, back in December 2024, AT sent Boulevard Motors a letter regarding a complaint we had received about vehicle driving along the footpath to and from the vehicle crossing at 152 Green Lane East and the property at 154 to 160 Green Lane East, Boulevard Motors. Please note that driving along the footpath is an offence under Section 213 of the Land Transport Road User Rules 2003, incorrect 2004. Vehicles may only move directly across the footpath between the roadway and the private property via an approved vehicle crossing. On flat land like this, the movement would need to be at 90 degrees. AT is aware that this property does not appear to have a driveway which exits onto Great South Road, but access to this has been blocked off by a permanent fence. See the photograph and they supply it. We require you to either remove this fence so you can access your driveway, or you could apply for a vehicle crossing of your own onto Green Lane East via the website. The fact that they are so close to that extremely busy intersection, he can apply, he can waste his time. Chances of him actually getting allowed a driveway there are fuck all to none. So he can waste his time, go for it, Dino. But yeah, bit of a shocker. I'm not able to tell you whether or not such an application will be granted in this case. No, it won't. In this case, given how close this is to an intersection on an arterial road when an alternative option exists, you would need to discuss that with the vehicle crossing experts. Didn't know there was such a thing as a vehicle crossing expert, but hey, there's all sorts of, expert, X meaning has been, spurt, drip under pressure. So there's a whole heap of, has been drips under pressure out there. Apparently there's some that deal with vehicle crossings. However, as noted previously, you must stop driving along the footpath and allowing others to do so. If you do not start using your legal access to Great South Road or successfully apply for your own vehicle crossing onto Green Lane East, we will look to prevent this unsafe, illegal behaviour or of driving along the footpath by exercising our power to force you to build a fence along the front of this property under Section 353 subsection C of the Local Government Act 1974. If you have any queries, ring us and we won't help. So yeah, that was on the 10th of June. Now on the 12th of June, this was Dean's response. And take note in this video that John's just come walking along the sidewalk just like any normal person can, and Dean Hunter decided to come screaming along in this white and blue two-tone car along the footpath and then pull in to Boulevard Motors. Clear as day. Now John had to step out of the road because of the car on the footpath. You hear John yell, "Oi!" Alright? Okay, now I made a complaint to the police about that at the time, and I sent them videos of it. What did the police do? Because of course New Zealand has so much trust and confidence in the New Zealand police at the moment.
We will be contacted by mental health professionals in the following days.
Not. The police did as normal, sweet fuck all. Now if the complaint was against John, you'd have 5 or 6 cops around there locking them up for the night straight away. They love to come and put the cuffs on John and throw him in the cells for the night. I think it's something the police enjoy doing, especially when it's unjustified. But that's another matter. You know, apparently Dean's now going around the local area saying that he was afraid of John. Then of course in 31st of October I go there and I capture Dean's son driving out the footpath. Again, this is what, 5 months after they've got this letter on the 10th of June. And they're still doing it. I mean, personally, I'd love to throw some concrete where those removable plimps are and put them in the fucking ground and leave them there. And the fence at the back that they've now put a gate on so they can placate the old council's wishes doesn't solve the safety issue of kids in very busy footpath at certain times of the day getting possibly run over by these fucking muppets illegally driving along the footpath. That problem's still not solved. He's still taking out those removable poles and he's still using that driveway. And if he wants to say, "No, I'm not," okay, fine. Put your fucking poles in the ground and leave them there. Don't be a fucking arsehole and fucking cause a danger to the general public. Namely school kids. You're a... I'm not going to go into what I think of this guy. Never met him. Love to hear his point of view. I did email them the video last time, and there was, strangely enough, some insulting comments being put on that video. But luckily, of course, we had the ability, being that it's my channel, to block those wankers. So, okay, that was on the 10th of June letter, okay? And then, of course, after that, on, where are we here? On the 17th of November, John sent to Ellie McKenzie from Auckland Transport, now it's the lady that's been dealing with it, with the case number, and he goes, "The above case numbers reference in relation to the unlawful use of the footpath by Dean Patrick Hunter of Boulevard Motors 154 to 160 Green Lane East. In violation of Rule 2131 of the Land Transport Road User Rules 2003. Now John got that, wrong, because basically he's just copied the information that AT gave him. I've now corrected that, so John knows it's 2004 not 2003, which asserts driving along footpath a driver must not drive a motor vehicle along a footpath. Seems pretty simple, doesn't it? As you know, at the heart of the issue is an illegal entrance for 154 to 160 Green Lane East that has been made onto Green Lane East. It is illegal because there is no vehicle crossing from Green Lane East entrance, and it appears that any application for a vehicle crossing is unlikely to be granted due to the illegal entrance's proximity to an intersection on an arterial road in circumstances where there is an alternative entrance on Great South Road. On the 9th of December 2024, Auckland Transport sent a letter to Mr Hunter at Boulevard Motors warning him not to drive along the footpath to use the vehicle crossing at 152 East, John's entrance next door. He actually does have a driveway entrance, which is what Dean's using. Despite this warning, Mr Hunter has continued to drive along the footpath on a daily basis, because that was the only way he could get cars in and off the property, because of the stupid permanent fence he had at the back, which he's now done the old placating gate in the middle of it. I mean, honestly, the gate is not very fucking wide, and he's still got the barbed wire going across the top, which doesn't go away when the gate's open. So you'd be lucky to fit a fucking Mini in there. There's no way you'd get a large vehicle through that gate. So you can see it's just a pacify, and gee, he might be losing money now because Armstrong's can't use what was his driveway entrance as parking spots anymore. Perhaps there was a kickback going on there. I noticed Armstrong are parking their vehicles around at other businesses because they don't have enough space. This has continued following Auckland Transport's further written warning on the 10th of June, again warning Mr Hunter in relation to Rule 213 of the Road User Rules, and further pointing out that if the illegal practice continues, consideration would be given to Auckland Transport exercising its power under Section 353C of the Local Government Act 1974 to force him, as occupier of the land, to build a fence along the front of Green Lane East. Auckland Transport, fucking use that power. Get your ass into gear. If you have that power, exercise it, because it's in the public interest and public safety to do so. 353. General safety provisions as to roads. The Council shall take all sufficient precautions for general safety of the public and traffic and workmen employed on or near any road, and in particular shall see, whenever the public safety or convenience renders it expedient, require the owner or the occupier of any land not separated from a road by a sufficient fence to enclose the same by a fence to the satisfaction of the Council. So Council, get your fucking ass into gear and start doing it. 5. A significant period of time has now gone on, and despite the warnings that have been provided to him, Mr Hunter has continued to violate the law by driving along the footpath to access his illegal entrance onto Green Lane East. At this juncture, action under Section 3531 of the Local Government Act 1974 is necessary for public safety and expedience to require Mr Hunter to build a fence. Exactly. Now this is John telling them in November that they need to, if they're going to threaten and use their authority and power to do so, fucking do it. There's been multiple complaints. I've still got my complaint pending. So, I mean, what the hell? Accordingly, I invite Auckland Transport to exercise its power to force Mr Hunter to build a fence along the front of Green Lane East without delay, and to enforce compliance with any failure of Mr Hunter to do so. In the event that Auckland Transport should decide not to do so, I respectfully request a Section 23 of the Official Information Act 1982 statement of the reasons for Auckland Transport's decision. This must, of course, be provided within 20 working days. Yeah, Auckland Transport, I will give them credit for this. They actually do the OIAs properly. I wanted to read out those letters, give you all of the background to it. I've shown the Auckland Council video proof they're still doing it on the 31st of October. Okay? I've shown the police video evidence of Dean Patrick Hunter trying to run John over on the sidewalk as he's pulling in. John had to step out of the road and go, oi. When you're walking along a footpath, you shouldn't have to worry about dodging vehicles, should you? So, Auckland Council, if you want to maintain the public trust and confidence, get your fucking shit together and get that fence sorted. Don't just accept the fact that he's put a gate there. Get it dealt with. See you later, guys. Have a great day. Bye now.
to catching up with you next time. All the best.